being a lifelong Superman fan, it seems, what was the first aspect of the script that just made you be like, oh my gosh?
Gosh, wow. There are so many things. Obviously, just to be playing in this universe, just to be part of something that is so huge is such an honor. I think probably the Fortress of Solitude. That was the thing. It's like, wow, we're really doing this. This is really part of the mythology. And stepping onto that set for the first time and actually being there, that was probably the thing for me that just all of my nerd senses were tingling.
And were you surprised when you heard the Superman fanfare in the pilot?
Yes. Yeah, well, I mean, it got chills, like hair-raising, you know. And that's the thing, is that we have such an awesome legacy to play with, and we should use that. We've got to own it. Like, it's a beautiful, wonderful thing. And this show is a show that's made by people who are passionate about Superman, who are passionate about the mythology, and hopefully that reads through.
And you've got a couple of episodes coming up where bad things happen to people who are not Seg. Can you tease any of that?
Well, the thing that I will say is that this is a show that has ramifications. You know, all the toys aren't put back in the box. This isn't a show where the gang gets back together at the base and goes and fights this week's villain. Every episode ends with a massive status quo shift, and characters have to pay the consequence of their actions.
And what can you tease about the future for the whole thing that's happening with Seg and Nyssa and joining her house?
Yeah, well, it's a really weird sort of... Seg feels like he's been swooped up into many different worlds that he knows nothing about. And he discovers that there's slightly more to Nyssa than meets the eye. He still can't really get a read on her. You know, Seg is a con man. Like, he's a career con man. He's meant to read people for a living, and Nyssa is the only person he can't get a read on. So it's a really interesting dynamic.
And what's coming up with him and Lyta?
Well, their relationship is tested. Yeah. Obviously, so much has happened, and so much has happened in this world, and there were already forces that were trying to drive them apart, and now they're going to have to fight even harder. And trust is brought into the equation. And
what was your feeling when you got here to WonderCon and saw the big banners of your entire cast?
That was so amazing. I mean, it's just one of those things that I'm speechless, really. Yeah.
And finally, for the people who have not seen the show yet, why should they catch it, you know, through Syfy.com and everywhere else?
Any way you can, on the biggest screen you can. This show, it's made by people who are desperately fond of this character, who love this mythology. We're taking a deeper dive than any other media on Krypton before, and we feel we are making something that's different. This is not a CW show. This is not the DCEU. We're forging our own journey forward while paying tribute to the things that have come before, and we're not afraid to make things our own.